3 days at Rogers Center has revealed this much. What's left is truly right. On Friday, southpaw Ricky Romero was nearly untouchable in the series opening victory. Saturday, it was lefty Jay Happ's turn, baffling the home side with a masterful complete game gem. Today, the two clubs swing to the left once again, as reliever turned starter Brian Talbot takes on the ageless Jamie Moyer. That's next on Rogers Sportsnet. What a difference a day makes. Yesterday it was sunny, the roof was rolled back. Today Mother Nature drops a little rain for the third and final game between the Phillies and Blue Jays to be played indoors. And on Hat Day they are going to draw a healthy crowd as the World Series champs visit Toronto for the final time this year. And we thank you for joining us today. I'm Jamie Campbell along with Pat Tabler. And Pat, if you like left-handed pitching, this has been a good series to tune into.
We've seen enough of them, haven't we? Our fifth and sixth starters from the left side today. In today's matchup with Jamie Moyer versus Brian Talbot, a little bit different, but a little bit the same. Jamie Moyer in his 21st season in the big leagues against Brian Talbot in just his fourth. Different in stature, yet same in styles. I think both will survive if they are spotting their pitches and getting the opposition to swing at their very good changeups.
Scott Rowland took yesterday off. He's back in the lineup today, riding a 15-game hit streak. And since moving into the cleanup spot, his numbers have been sensational. And late last year, Pat, he made a very subtle adjustment.
Yeah, it was around August or September of last year where he lowered his hands just a little bit. You can see from the shot on the left last year, the left forearm is covering the face of Scott Rowland, so he had his hands very high and he was getting tied up and getting beat by the fastball. This year he's lowered it. He's got fluidness through the swing, and it definitely has helped Scott Rowland. He's hitting about 330, so the adjustments have been working for him.
And he'll try and extend that streak to 16 games today. Joining us as always is Sam Cosentino. Sam, take it away.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Just a slight change in the Blue Jays roster to tell you about. After his start yesterday, Brad Mills sent back to AAA Las Vegas to make room for Roy Halladay, who will make his start Monday against Tampa. With that move comes a slight change in the Blue Jays rotation. We'll have that for you during the course of the game.
Sam, thank you. As the crowd forms inside, puddles form outdoors. We'll have the first pitch inside Rogers Center next here on Rogers Sportsnet. Jason Worth hit 2 home runs. One ended up in level 500. The first hit in that area since 2004. And let's put it in perspective as he adds his name to a short list of people who have gone upper tank here. Mark McGwire with the longest ever in this ballpark, 488 feet off Huck Flenner back in '96. And where did Jason's land? Well down in the section.
Yeah, it looked like it hit in the first row and actually bounced out of the fifth deck. So what is that, about 7 or 8 rows of a little bit of a different distance? It was fun to watch yesterday. Not fun for Blue Jay fans, I know, but as a baseball fan, it was fun to watch that ball travel. And remember, Jason Worth supplied all the power because that was about a 75-mile-an-hour changeup from Brad Mills.
That's right, and he stood at the plate and said, I knew it was gone if it stayed fair, and it did. And so he'll be back at it this afternoon for the Phillies indoors with rain sprinkling outside. So here's what the lineup looks like today. And yet again, for the 4th straight game, no Jimmy Rollins. And there's word that perhaps he'll get a start for the Phillies down in Atlanta on Tuesday. They'll get a day off tomorrow. So Worth leads the offense this afternoon against Brian Talent, who's making his 15th start of the year. That's more than any other Blue Jay, Roy Halladay included.
He's never appeared against the Phillies. He's never started against them. Talent shut out the Reds for 6 innings in his last start here at Rogers Center on Tuesday. He earned the win as the Jays won 7-5. Just 3 hits given up, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, which was a career high for Brian Talent. Pitching on just 3 days rest, he threw 90 pitches in that game, so Cito had to pull him after 6 innings. The scouting report on the big left-hander this afternoon, his fastball must be down. This is a very good fastball hitting Phillies team, so it's got to be down. He'll also throw some cutters and some sliders in there, but his bread and butter pitch is the changeup. So soft is better, and if he can get the Phillies chasing after it, he'll have success like he did against the Reds.
Talent looks into Raul Chavez for his sign as he faces Shane Victorino, who leads off for the Phillies. And it's time to play some ball here in Toronto. We're glad that you've joined us. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. The 3rd and final game of this series has Talent facing the leadoff man Victorino, who's walked twice in this series and scored both times. So it's critical to keep this man off the bases.
Yes, it certainly is, because he's got a lot of speed, 5 triples, leads the National League, but he's had a tough road trip. Just 176 on the road. Moving into that leadoff position since Jimmy Rollins has been on the bench. Charlie Manuel says that they don't really lose a whole lot when Victorino moves into that leadoff spot.
No, he can do it all. And impressive that he was a Rule 5 pick, not once but twice. He's been kicked around from various organizations, but landed here in Philadelphia. 1-2, and he swings at that pitch from Talent and strikes out. There's a good way for Brian to start the ball game.
Well, he thought he had him struck out. The pitch before that, a fastball in the inside part. This is what we talk about in the scouting report. He's got to get those Phillies chasing that changeup in the dirt. Good job by Chavez to keep that ball in front of him to record the strikeout.
Brian is 1-2 in interleague play as interleague wraps up for the 2009 season today across the major leagues. 1 gone, and Jason Worth is up. Oh, so dangerous. 8 home runs against the Blue Jays over the last 2 seasons. 2 in yesterday's game. He hit 3 in the recent series down in Philadelphia. Talent deals the 0-1, and that misses inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I like how he's using that fastball in on right-handers here. That will really put fastball in their mind, so he can throw that changeup later in the sequence.
On the 1-1. That pitch outside. Well, we looked at the towering shot off Brad Mills that landed in upper deck.
Right in the wheelhouse right there. A good uppercut to finish that one off. And then this slider from B.J. Ryan hit hard by Worth.
Talent goes back to the changeup. It's 2-2 now. As Chavez moves inside, the ball cuts in on Worth. And it's a full count on the Phillies' number 2 hitter. You've got Chase Utley on deck. Ryan Howard in the hole for Philadelphia.
Yeah, even though he's got all that power, he still sees a lot of pitches at the plate. Right up among the league leaders in the National League in pitches seen per at bat.
Jason is the subject of our Rogers Fast Fact this afternoon, brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. The 8 home runs against the Jays over the last 2 years, the most by any opposition hitter. Not surprisingly. And he's not even in the same league.
Yeah, he doesn't get to see these pitchers. So that's even more impressive.
So he's on first. Chase Utley is the hitter now. Utley is a career .298 hitter. This 30-year-old from Pasadena, California, has established himself as an all-star in the National League. Talent keeping an eye on Worth, comes to the plate and gets a strike. Just underway from Toronto. The Phillies and Jays for the final time. Talent sees that one hit into the corner. That's a fair ball. And Worth got a jump, so he heads for third. Utley heads into second with a double. And the Phillies have a pair in scoring position early.
Chase Utley is so good on balls in because he's got great hands. You've heard so many times about hitters have great hands. Watch how short his swing is, how he pulls the bat in. That is a pitch on the inner half, and he is able to get the bat head in and hit it hard into that corner. 16th double of the season for Utley, and the Phils have picked up where they left off yesterday.
They scored 4 times in the opening frame against Brad Mills in yesterday's game. And that gave Jay Happ, their starting pitcher, a chance to settle in comfortably to his assignment. So now Ryan Howard comes up. He's got a chance to drive in a run or two here, and he taps it foul. Howard had 3 hits yesterday and none in the opener on Friday. All 3 yesterday were singles. He scored twice and drove in 1. So Howard stuck on 20 home runs. An impressive number, and it doesn't even lead this Phillies team. Raul Ibanez has 22. And he waves at that one away. 0-2 on Ryan Howard.
You know, if you want to be a good RBI man, sometimes you have to go outside of the strike zone to hit pitches and drive in runs. I don't think Brian Talent is going to give Howard anything to hit here, even though he's up 0-2. He's got first base open. But as a hitter, sometimes you have to go up there, expand the strike zone just a little bit to get those runners in. I remember Albert Bell was like that, and he talked about that when he played for Cleveland, hitting fourth, that when they had the base open, they had runners in scoring position, pitchers would try to pitch around him. And he said, hey, sometimes I had to swing at pitches off the zone and still pick up runs. And in this series, we've seen that happen. Remember the home run Phillies hit was way outside. He was able to pull the ball and get a home run.
2-2 now on Howard. And that kind of philosophy would work for Howard, especially when they set up a little differently for him defensively in the infield.
Well, with runners at second and third, they don't have the exaggerated shift on that we've seen against Ryan Howard in the past. Scott rolling in that 5-6 hole right there. And Scutaro right behind the runner Utley at second base.
Rolen is well off the bag at third as Talent deals the 2-2 inside, and he gets the strikeout. Howard gets fooled by the change of speeds, and now Talent has 2 down.
And it comes at a great time, too. You usually don't want to throw a changeup from a left-hander to a left-handed batter down and in. But Howard swings right over the top of it. Talent comes up with a big strikeout.
And so up steps John Mayberry Jr., the rookie in just his 13th major league game. And Talent opens with a changeup and a dandy. Mayberry falls behind 0-1. Littlejohn has yet to pick up a hit in this series. He struck out 4 times. Mayberry's Mounties are in attendance in the upper deck.
Yeah, they make an appearance. Charlie Manuel was telling us before the series started he felt like they are very left-handed dominant, the Philadelphia Phillies hitters, and they need a right-hander to come in and try and help them out. Maybe Littlejohn can do that.
His first order of business is not to injure teammates. He almost took out Jason Worth there on that foul shot down the left field line. So Talent gets ahead in the count, 0-2. 2 men on and runner in scoring position for the Phillies. And now Talent steps off and wants a new set of signs. In fact, he's unsure enough that he calls Chavez out to the mound. There's Worth at third. Utley after the double at second. 2 gone, 2 strikes on Mayberry. The 0-2, and it's rolled foul.
You know, Brian is so tall, about 6'7". He's got long arms, and his motion is like all arms and legs. And you have to respect his fastball because he can throw it in the low 90s. But then he drops that changeup on you, and that was the 3rd straight to Mayberry. John probably has no idea what he's going to do right here. Tough to pick up that changeup.
Here comes one down low for ball 1. Low and inside off the plate.
Looked like it was a little bit of a cutter. Let's take a little sneak peek, see if we can get the grip from Talent. Looks like it's going to be another fastball or a slider.
And the pitch. So it's 2-2.
That's a thing where you might want to kind of close that up a little bit. I remember Frank Viola used to give away his changeup. Whenever we got a runner to second base, he would come into a stretch just like Brian Talent is and really show it to that back runner.
So Utley could be getting a good look at that grip, which looks like a change grip right now on 2-2. And the ball is hit high and deep to right field. Here's Rios back at the scoreboard. He makes the catch, and that's it. The Phillies get 2 on, but none in. And after a half inning of play, it's a scoreless game. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Blue Jays lineup for this afternoon's game, and Scott Rowland is back in. He's hit safely in 15 straight. A lot of Blue Jays in the lineup today have had great success against Jamie Moyer, including Alex Rios. A .455 average, 4 doubles and a home run. So he'll hope to light up 46-year-old Moyer this afternoon and ensure a series victory against the Phillies.
15th start of the year for the ageless one. Jamie Moyer back out there looking for his 252nd career victory. If you enjoy watching pitching and how to set up hitters and changing speeds and moving the ball around the strike zone, you're in for a treat this afternoon to watch Moyer operate.
Well, Marco Scutaro has had great success as well against Moyer. In his career, he's hit .438 against the Philly left-hander, 14 hits and 32 at-bats, and 3 home runs. So Marco gets another chance here against Moyer, who's now made 37 starts in his career against the Blue Jays. That tells you how long he's been around. 30 shot, but foul.
37 starts, Jamie, but he's also given up 37 home runs to the Blue Jays in his career. He's another guy who's got to have that pinpoint control. Fastball, he was never a guy that threw very hard. Fastball in the low 80s now, and a changeup that's even slower. He does it with deception and with smarts.
That pitch is flared to right field and caught by Jason Worth. So he's been around so long, I figure you've got a pretty good sense of what he throws. You faced him, in fact.
Yeah, faced him back whenever, right? He is a crafty veteran. In and out, up and down, whatever it takes. We talked about the deception. Lots of options for Jamie. Sinker, fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, changeup, just about anything. And he usually keeps it down. That deluxe changeup, I think he throws it, I think it's about 70 miles an hour now.
So he may be the only starting pitcher in the big leagues left that where you can offer up a scouting report based on experience.
Tim Wakefield.
Oh, Tim Wakefield.
I forgot about still Wakefield. Around, right?
We'll see him again soon as Aaron Hill lifts it high and deep down the left field line. This ball is hooking toward the pole, and it is gone. A home run for Aaron Hill. And a career-high 18th, too.
And a new Blue Jay record for home runs as a second baseman. He did this earlier this week against Bronson Arroyo. Change-up, breaking ball out over the middle of the plate, and he hits it high and deep. And you can see him kind of wait at home plate, hoping that that ball doesn't hook foul. It straightens out. It's got plenty of distance just inside the foul pole for number 18.
And now Vernon Wells taps the first pitch to Phillies. Throw is a little high, but they get him at the bag. And while Scott Rowland makes his way to the plate, will set up the Phillies defensively.
And they're pretty good. In fact, they set a team record with 12 consecutive errorless games earlier this season. Mayberry, Victorino, and Worth in the outfield. Howard Utley, Eric Bruntlett, and Feliz first to third around the infield. And for the third straight day, Carlos Ruiz will do the catching. Jamie Moyer is a very good fielder also. You can throw him in that mix also. He's only made 1 error this year.
Well, Scott Rowland makes his way to the plate to a tune by Coldplay. And there's nothing cold about his play these days. He's hit safely in 15, took the day off yesterday, and brings a .329 average to the plate against Jamie Moyer. The Jays have jumped on top courtesy of Hill's home run. Here's the 2-0 from the veteran lefty. Now 3 balls and no strikes. Over the course of the 15 games, Rowland has hit .429 with 14 runs scored and 9 multi-hit games. His hit streak the longest active streak in the major leagues.
Doing it with authority. Cito was talking about him. He said one of the keys he thinks he sees is his hands are really starting to move now. Before they were very stationary. Now they are moving. And the confidence is very high.
Scott is braced for the 3-2 pitch. Here it comes from Moyer, and it's tapped right back to the pitcher. He plays to first, and the inning comes to an end. But the Blue Jays take an early lead thanks to Aaron Hill, his 18th of the season. And it's Toronto 1, the Phillies no score. To host Doc's Box, children and their families from Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital are Halliday's guests at today's game, and what a treat for the kids. About half an hour before first pitch, Halliday was up there in uniform saying hello to the kids and signing some autographs. For more information on the Jays Care Foundation, please look at bluejays.com and you'll get an idea of the involvement of many of the players, Halliday included. We'll start the second inning here in Toronto with Pedro Feliz, the third baseman, in to face Brian Talent. Talent walked Worth and gave up a double to Utley in the opening frame, but struck out Howard and got the fly ball from Mayberry and got out of the inning without giving up a run. Here is Feliz, who hit his 4th home run of the season yesterday. He'll be followed by Chris Coast and Eric Bruntlett. This is the active Green and Ross Italian Day cap giveaway afternoon, and not surprisingly, there are a lot of people in the seats. Lots of folks in the upper deck sporting the cap given away at the turnstiles this afternoon. 2-1, and the pitch goes in for strike 2.
Got to have that pitch. You were telling us a story. Cap day was your first day,
in fact,
to a Blue Jays game?
Scott Carson, our statistician, and I went to the very first ever cap day at Exhibition Stadium in late April of 1977, and it was rained out as the pitch is inside. The Boston Red Sox were in town. I didn't know Scott back then, obviously, but we waited and waited and waited,
and you got your cap.
Got the cap.
There you go.
Scott still has his. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Let's go downstairs and bring in Sam Cosentino.
Jamie, off the top of the broadcast, we told you that the Blue Jays made a move, sending Brad Mills back down to AAA Las Vegas to make room for Roy Halladay and his start on Monday. The rotation is going to look like this now. Scott Richmond will pitch on Tuesday against Tampa, and then Wednesday Canada Day, the July 1st game, Ricky Romero takes the hill. And so it will look as if Brett Cecil may get skipped this time around.
So Halladay is back, and the timing is perfect because this would be the first time they've even faced Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay is hot. They've won 4 in a row. They have jumped ahead of the Blue Jays in the standings, so the Jays jiggle their starters a little bit to have their 3 best go against the hot Rays. Should be a good series.
Here's Chris Coste, the designated hitter. And Pat, the shame of this series is that with all the left-handers we've seen, fans here haven't gotten a look at Matt Stairs, who might have fit into this role under other circumstances.
If you got here like at 6 o'clock for the night games or noon for the afternoon games, you would see him. Stairsy just raking some balls up to the Hard Rock Cafe in batting practice. Does not get cheated.
Watching from the dugout, 3-0 to Coste. Now ball 4. Talent walks his second man and gets ready to see the shortstop Eric Bruntlett. Bruntlett has been the man benefiting from the fact that Charlie Manuel decided to sit Jimmy Rollins yet again, and he fouls the first one out of play.
4 straight games now that he has played, and looking for his first hit on this road trip. 0 for 11. I believe they have an off day tomorrow, and then they open up a series down in Atlanta. And that's tentatively when Jimmy Rollins will be back.
Settled in beside Raul Ibanez. So the Phillies are missing 2 very valuable players, one by manager's choice and one due to injury. One and one to Bruntlett. Coste with a short lead at first. And Talent checks him out anyway.
They can almost play behind Chris Coste. He's taken about a half a step lead over there at first base. Davey Lopes is first base coach. One of the best in the business at teaching steals.
Coste gets under this one, pops it into shallow center. Racing in is Wells, and he calls off Scudero for the catch.
That happened a couple of times in yesterday's ball games where the Phillies batters just dumped balls right in front of Vernon Wells. Coste did it a couple times. I believe Ryan Howard did it. This time, though, a little bit too much air under the ball from Bruntlett, and allows Wells to just run that one off. That's his ball all the way.
So Bruntlett is retired, and with 2 down, number 9 hitter Carlos Ruiz steps in against Talent and lines the first one right at Scott Rowland. Thank you very much. And the Phillies are finished in the second. Still 1-0 Toronto. these away over the years, and they will again on Sunday, July the 19th, the Mr. Sub Sports Bag giveaway. The Blue Jays that day face the Boston Red Sox, and the first 10,000 into the gates get a Mr. Sub Sports Bag. Bottom of 2, Adam Lind, the DH, leading off against Jamie Moyer. The Blue Jays take a 41-35 record into this afternoon's ball game as Lind comes up swinging, grounds it softly to Bruntlett, and is thrown out at first for out number 1.
In between innings, we got a shot of Gene Tennis, the hitting coach of the Blue Jays, talking and working with Alex Rios, and I think what he was talking about is he's thinking that his stance might be a little bit too open and too wide. He's probably asking him to close that up a little bit and see how he's a little bit wide, and now you can't get your hips through, and your first movement is an uppercut. I know Gino has told me that he's been trying to get him to kind of shorten that up just a little bit so his base isn't so wide, and that will help him to get through the ball so he's not collapsing his backside so much.
Well, he has seen some tremendous success against Jamie Moyer in his career, hitting .455 against the left-hander with 4 doubles and a home run, 10 hits and 22 at bats, and he lines this shot hard into the seats. Everybody wake up and pay attention down there.
You know, when you have a left-hander like Jamie Moyer, you can take away the thought of he's not going to throw the ball by me, so I can wait just a fraction of a second, a little bit longer to watch the ball. And if you have that idea and you think right back through the middle, I don't think you're going to overcommit. I don't think he's going to beat you with the fastball, so you can just pick the baseball up.
And yet, over the years, we've seen the Blue Jays have so much difficulty with soft tossing lefties.
Right. Because the mindset is, hey, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to see how far I can hit this ball. And you swing a little bit harder. Good change up there. You swing hard. You don't square that ball up. But I think if you take the mindset when you go up there, hey, he's not going to throw it by me, so I'm going to just find the ball and just try and hit it, good things are going to happen.
Lyle Overbay is announced.
Jamie's an amazing guy. You know, Jamie, at one time, he was 20 games under 500 in his career as a pitcher, and now nearly 60 games over 500. You want to talk about a guy who has really put it together. He has been consistent. He's been pitching for a long time. 2 times he was a 20-game winner.
Both times with the Seattle Mariners. He won 21, in fact, in 2001 as he faces Lyle Overbay.
Think of the work you have to do to be 20 games under 500 at one time in your career, and then to turn it around and go 60 over.
Well, you know, Pat, you don't necessarily think of Bob Gibson when you think of Jamie Moyer, but Moyer now has as many victories as Bob Gibson, which just doesn't seem right.
Think about that.
And 2 contrasting styles, too.
Some of the guys that he has passed already, Juan Marichal. He has more wins than Juan Marichal. Whitey Ford, Louis Tion, Three Fingers Brown, Catfish Hunter. Those are guys who are all Hall of Famers.
So is Jamie Moyer? That's not for us to decide.
Yeah, that's not our job.
We'll leave it to the writers. 3-1. And he gets a strike on Overbay.
I think the guy that he compares most to is a pitcher like Tommy John. Didn't throw hard, left-handed, played a long time to Tommy John. Very similar styles. Tommy John ended up with 288 wins in his career and is not in the Hall of Fame.
No. And more well known for a surgical procedure than he is for his pitching career. Overbay draws a 2-out walk, and Jose Bautista gets a chance against Moyer. The Blue Jays with an early 1-0 lead. If you've just joined us, Aaron Hill hit a first-inning home run, his 18th this season, and that establishes a brand new record for second baseman in Blue Jays history. And now Bautista with a man on first, bats against Moyer.
You know what's impressive about that home run by Aaron Hill? Moyer, for the most part, has kept the ball in the ballpark this month. Giving up just 2 home runs the whole month of June coming into this game. But he made that one mistake, that hanging breaking ball. And the way Aaron is swinging the bat right now, the ball is just jumping off of his bat.
And both of those home runs prior were against the Blue Jays. He gave one up to Aaron Hill and Rod Barajas in his start on June 17th. This ball powered to center field. Victorino in a dead sprint, and it's out of here. His second home run of the year, and it's 3-0 for the Jays. A cannon shot over the center field wall. And the Blue Jays have done it again to Jamie Moyer.
He was able to double clutch. Watch him get back on his back leg, lift that leg, and get everything into it. On a line right to dead center field. It's been a couple of months since we have seen Jose Bautista homer. This one on a line to center field.
His last coming against the White Sox. I believe it was a left-hander, Clayton Richard, in fact, at U.S. Cellular Field in late April. So Bautista, who wasn't hitting well coming into the game, makes a contribution here and increases the lead by 2. It's now 3-0 for the Jays, and the number 9 hitter is Raul Chavez. Chavez hitting .258 in 18 starts, lines the shot to Mayberry, and it's past him. So Chavez picks up a double with 2 down. And he must be happy he decided to stick around this organization.
With the injury to Rob Barajas, Chavez getting some playing time, and that means timing and rhythm. Catches a pitch from Moyer up. Rips it by John Mayberry Jr. for extra bases. It's amazing when you start playing some on a regular basis how it could all come back to you.
And he was provided the opportunity to find work elsewhere after he was assigned to AAA at the end of spring training. He made the decision, though, to hang around and look for opportunity. It came with not only injuries to Barajas, but Michael Barrett previously. And he's at second as Marcos Scudero takes ball 1 from Moyer. Marco lined out to Worth in right field his first time up. After Moyer got the first 2 out easily here in the second, he walked Overbay, gives up the home run to Bautista, and now sees Chavez double. He checks the runner, comes to the plate, grounded to third. Phillies goes across the diamond, and that's the inning. But Bautista's second home run of the year gives Toronto a 3-0 edge. in the TD Canada Trust Comfort Zone, and join them today are members of the Power to Be organization, one of the TD charities, courtesy of TD Canada Trust. 3-0 Jays. And in the third, the leadoff man, Victorino, faces Brian Talent.
Before this series started, I was talking with Charlie Manuel, and we were talking about his ball club, and he was saying how teams are just lining up left-hander after left-hander against their team, feeling that they're left-handed top-heavy as Victorino rolls that ball into left field. I looked at the numbers, and they're 17-10 against left-handed starters. So they've faced tons of them, and they've had some success against them. Victorino bangs that right over Roland's glove into left field. Be careful. Victorino can run. The Phillies lead the National League in stealing percentage at a little over 80%. A lot of it has to do with the man on the right there, Davey Lopes, who was a great base stealer in his time with the Dodgers. 557 stolen bases in Davey's career, which puts him in the top 25 in all of baseball.
Charlie's got himself quite a staff here. He's got a manager, a former manager in Lopes, who skippered the Milwaukee Brewers for a time at first. And then over at third, Sam Perlazzo, who was the manager for the Baltimore Orioles for a time.
Well, Charlie's pretty much turned the running game over to Lopes. Last year they had 136 stolen bases. This year they have 50, which is fourth in the National League. And he'll watch for things from Talent. Maybe he can pick something up from him. You know, maybe he holds his hands up a little bit higher when he's going to go home, or a little bit lower when he comes over to first. Tough to run on left-handers.
In fact, it seems Victorino's first move is back towards first base when Talent goes into his windup.
You can watch the front foot of a left-hander. That might be the tipping point for you. But you're right, he does not have a good gauge of what Talent's move is to first.
Doesn't really matter now, though, because Talent issues a walk to Worth, puts runners at first and second for Chase Utley, who doubled his last time up.
Brian had some trouble a few starts ago, about 2 or 3 in a row, where he had trouble in the first couple of innings, but once he found it, really finished off the games very nicely. Looks like he's having trouble right now. That's already his third base on ball. Having trouble just finding the strike zone.
The first two are aboard for the Phillies, nobody out, and here is Utley. You and I broadcast a game in Texas, perhaps his best outing of the year, when he shut out the Rangers on just 2 hits over 7 innings, and felt that after the team had gotten up in the second inning 4-0, it gave him the comfort zone of pounding the strike zone.
Well, the matchup against Texas is a little bit different than these guys, right? Texas is a little bit more of a free swinging ball club. The Phillies a little bit more disciplined. They'll take their walks when you give it to them. And they're just good hitters up and down the lineup. They haven't hit well against left-handed starters in terms of batting average, under 250 this year, but they lead the major leagues in home runs versus left-handed pitching. They have hit 38 home runs this year against lefties, which is the most in the big leagues.
1-1 to Utley. Here's the pitch, fouled away. Utley's double in the first inning pushed his average from 299 now to 302.
Watch where this one hits. Raul Chavez right under the mask there. That'll certainly shake you up a little bit.
Thank goodness for the throat guard. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch swung on and missed. The ball scoots away from Chavez, and Utley is out on the play. He cannot advance on the strikeout, so there's 1 away.
Yeah, with first base occupied, he's out, but the runners can run at their own discretion. It looked like a pass ball. Let's see. Some kind of off-speed pitch. He had it. Yeah, he had it in his glove, and he just missed it. And then when the ball hits the ground, he kicks it away, allowing the runners to move up.
Well, Brian has been in this position before. 1 out and runners at second and third facing Ryan Howard. Back in the first inning, he got him on a 2-2 changeup to strike him out for out number 2. And the first one is fouled away. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's strike 2.
And he got ahead 0-2 against Howard last time. Threw a couple of balls in the dirt and then threw that pitch that you were just talking about to get him.
Why the danger in throwing a changeup to a left-hander from a left-hander?
Because it usually goes down and in, and everybody knows that's the sweet spot for a left-handed batter. 44 of his 58 driven in this situation.
There's the 0-2, up and in, ball 1. Early on, the Phillies have already left 3 base runners. They've got 2 here after the single and the walk. And a 1-2 count on Ryan Howard. Here's the pitch, grounded to first. Overbay takes it. Victorino comes in to score. And it's now 3-1 in favor of the Jays as Howard grounds out but produces a run in the process. And so with 2 gone, John Mayberry Jr. is back. He flied out deep to right field in the first inning. And he tags this one foul. And the ball jumps from the second level to the first.
Yeah, sometimes as a hitter, you just have to say, get that ball out of here. Just look for it, pull it way foul. And now you have to change your thought process right here. Pitcher goes, oh boy, he's looking for that ball in there. I better go away now.
Chavez sets up inside and the ball misses up and away. It's 0-2. So Talent has done a nice job after seeing the first 2 get on in getting ahead of hitters. He has Mayberry in a tough spot here. The 0-2 fastball in, and there's a strikeout and a big one. He leaves a man at third. The Phillies get 1 after getting their first 2 aboard.
That's pitching right there. He got him last time with something off speed, and he freezes him 0-2.
Why not choose to spend your day here at the ballpark with us? A Canada Day celebration against the Tampa Bay Rays, and when the game concludes, they'll close the roof and have some fireworks. Fireworks! Kaboom! Another home run for Aaron Hill. Superman is in the building.
We talked about Moyer giving up home runs to the Blue Jays. Here's number 3 this afternoon, and the second one for Aaron Hill. Just a beautiful home run swing. A little uppercut right in the zone, and no doubt about that one.
Hill gets the run back as Wells taps it back of second. Utley throws him out. And Vernon is 0 for 2.
There's just some pitchers that certain hitters just feel comfortable with. It's pretty obvious that Aaron Hill feels pretty comfortable against Jamie Moyer. Sees the ball coming into this game. Aaron was hitting .400 with a home run and 3 RBIs against the lefty.
And how about Scott Rowland? A base hit. His hit streak's now at 16 as he heads for second and slides in safely.
Just a good base runner, Scott Rowland. He knows when to take the extra base. He knows when he can try and get himself into scoring position. Stays inside that ball from Moyer. Now Jason Worth leads his team in outfield assists with 6. He's quick, he's accurate, and he throws hard, but Rowland with the play right in front of him. You see him put his head down, put a little bit extra effort into that double, and he makes it.
He extends his career-high hit streak to 16 games as Lynn takes ball 1, and we bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, very interesting and apropos with Hill hitting the home run, Rowland the double. The players get their say in the All-Star voting as well. They get to pick 5 starters, 3 relievers, and a first and second choice at each position. Happy to report back that with that involuntary responsibility on the players to do so, all of the Blue Jays coaches and players return their ballots, and so it's nice to see that the players get to vote on their peers as well.
So if a player isn't voted in by the fans, they have other opportunities. And there are a handful of Blue Jays who at least deserve a chance to go. They might not get there, but they deserve to be there.
Can they vote for themselves?
I don't think so.
No, that would look bad.
Who knows?
They can vote for their teammate.
You could, but you'd never want to tell anybody.
They can vote for their teammate, though. Right? Let's hope so.
Moyer falls behind 3-0. And he walks Lynn. So this is a troublesome start from Moyer. He'll get a visit from his catcher. And it comes after he defeated Tampa Bay down at Tropicana Field on Tuesday. He went 6 innings in that game, only gave up 5 hits and 1 earned run.
He was throwing strikes for Jamie and keeping that ball down. He went 6 innings, 4 strikeouts. He beat David Price. Chan Ho Park gets up and starts to get loose. Moyer won 16 games last year for the Phillies, including 9 of his last 10. And a bit of a rut here.
He knows the bullpen is at work now. And he opens with a strike to Alex Rios. 1 run is in the 3rd. 2 men are on, 1 out. Moyer with the 0-1 pitch, and the breaking ball hits the dirt, ball 1.
Cito was talking before the game that pitchers like Jamie Moyer can really put you into a slump. And I wouldn't put that in the same category. He said the same thing about Tim Wakefield. Wakefield, though, is a guy with a knuckleball, and the ball moves all over the place. Moyer relies on change-ups and location and things like that. So I disagree a little bit. I think a pitcher like Jamie Moyer can help you get out of a slump, because all you should do is just concentrate on the baseball. Just watch that ball. Rios doesn't do that here as he swings at a ball way out of the strike zone.
He wasn't kidding when he mentioned Wakefield. The Blue Jays lost to Tim Wakefield the last time they faced him, and then promptly lost 8 other games in succession right afterward.
And it took them a while before they got their mojo back offensively.
It did. There's Overbay slapping it foul.
But Jamie's a different type of pitcher. He doesn't have that knuckleball. We were talking about a couple of innings ago where you just want to concentrate on the baseball because he can't blow it by you. I think that's good for you. Makes things a little bit simpler.
The 0-1 to Overbay, and Lau falls behind, 0-2. With 2 away, Scott Rowlands at second, Adam Lind at first. Here's Overbay hoping to add to a 4-1 lead. And the 2-strike pitch swung on and missed. So Moyer gets the strikeout pitch and gets out of this, leaving 2, but gives up another home run to Aaron Hill. And after 3, it's the Blue Jays 4, the Phillies 1. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Tabler, and on a yearly basis we get a visit from Brandy Halliday, and for good reason too. You've got a very important event coming up.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, it's food drive time, so I'm back out in full force trying to remind everybody to bring some money and canned goods.
Well, you guys picked a good series to do it too.
Yeah.
Boston Red Sox are coming to town, and we know the crowds will be big, and people often plan ahead of time when a team like the Red Sox or Yankees come in. They get their tickets in advance, and so make sure everybody knows when, where, and what to bring.
Absolutely. And this year we're strategic about our weekend too. This is our 25th year for the food drive, so we want this bigger than ever. My goal, my personal goal, hope, is for $25,000 this year, which is very achievable. Last year we raised just under $24,000. So I would love to see that $25,000 mark and as much food and home goods as we can get.
So it's a weekend series, July 17, 18, and 19. So if you're coming to the ballpark, make sure you write that down. And sometimes people think, well, on a food drive, there are certain items that are a little more necessary these days.
Yes.
Have you got an idea of what those are?
You know, the staples are always great. The peanut butter, the tuna, baby formula, dry pasta goes a long way. So those things are always great. Really, anything non-perishable, and money is the best. I know that sounds terrible, but money really is the best, because our dollar is equivalent to $2 for the food bank. They can spend it better than we can. So anything is incredibly helpful.
There's a base hit from Pedro Feliz as we begin the 4th inning, joined by Brandy Halliday, whose husband Roy comes back into the rotation tomorrow against Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And we were laughing the other day because we did the telethon during the broadcast in care of the Jays Care Foundation, and this great prize
A
pack.
little overzealous on my
This
fundraising.
great prize pack of a pitching lesson with Roy and all these different things comes up for bid, and the bid keeps going up and up and up. And the next thing you know, before we get off air, there's 2 of them available. And we're thinking, did somebody go and talk to Roy?
No,
So tell us
nobody
about
talked
that.
to Roy.
What happened?
There was a man on the phone who was willing to give the foundation $7,500 for 30 minutes of my husband's time. And that's insane. It's amazing. And how do you hang up the phone and say, I'm sorry, you didn't win. Thanks for thinking about giving us that kind of money. No, you put it out there and you take that money for the kids.
Right.
And luckily, both people in that scenario were both willing to pay. So I sold my husband twice.
That's great.
So he was down on the bench.
He didn't know.
Does he know yet now?
He knows now.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Now-
he found out in the dugout.
Now,
or in the
Brandy,
clubhouse.
just for fun, we looked down on him at that time, and he was like this. He was in conversation, and his hands were active, and he was talking to one of his teammates. And we just thought for a minute that maybe you had called and said, guess what, I've just sold you twice.
No, I don't know exactly who told him, but doesn't really matter. It was it was the right cause.
It is a great cause.
And he's perfectly happy to do it. You know, there's going to be a couple little boys that get to come now too. So.
And you helped raise almost $50,000 for the Jays Care Foundation,
Isn't that
which
amazing?
far exceeds what the foundation was expecting to get.
Absolutely. And it's great. And that just shows how supportive our viewers really are. And we do have great fans out there. So thank you to everybody who participated.
Now, as we watch Chris Coast here, who's up against Brian Tallett with the Blue Jays on top 4-1, we're joined by Brandy Halliday, who is promoting the upcoming food drive. And we also know you and Roy are very actively involved in Doc's Box. We saw Roy up there about a half an hour before first. He's not up there still, is he?
No, but all my cute little kids are over there.
And these are a lot of the kids from Toronto's Sick Kids Hospital.
Yep,
Tell us
they
about
are.
your involvement there.
Not as involved as I would like to be. You know, it's hard to find time.
You're pretty busy.
I'm a little busy. But I was just in the suite, and one of the boys, Kieran, tells me, are there other groups that you do Doc's Box with? And I said, you know, it's amazing. I was just saying the same thing. That's him. That's my little buddy. And
the little guy there with the glasses?
Yeah, he's hiding now.
Oh, he's hiding now.
Yeah. He's been up here before with me, and these kids are just so great. And I said, you know what? You're right. We want to do this with other groups. And so I was literally just talking about expanding Doc's Box. I would love to have somebody in the suite every week. There's no reason I can't have somebody out in that room every Sunday. And so that's what I'm going to start working on. We're going to find some other groups and some other kids that can come and watch a ball game too.
How can they find you?
I'm pretty easy to find, surprisingly. They can just get a hold of Jays Care Foundation right through the Blue Jays website.
There's Tallett walking Chris Coast. And so Phillies is on, Coast is on. Eric Bruntlett, the shortstop and number 8 hitter, is coming up. Nobody out and 2 on for the Phillies. The Blue Jays are on top 4-1. And Brandy Halliday is here to talk about the upcoming food drive for the weekend of July 17, 18, and 19 against the Boston Red Sox. Are there any prizes that you guys are going to give away to certain donators?
In the last couple of years, what we've done is we've gotten some signed Blue Jay hats from the players. And they are a gift. They are not for sale. They're our way of saying thank you for donations of $25 or more. It is 1 hat per donation.
Well, Bruntlett beats it out at first. Moves the runners along and gets on himself, too. Bases loaded here and nobody out.
And, of course, they are while supplies last. We can't have a million of them up there. But it's a really cool thing, and the people get really excited to see which hat comes out of the bag for them.
So they don't know who they get?
No.
They just pull it out?
That's what we have to do because so many people come up and say, I want so-and-so, or I want so-and-so, can I trade it? And it really is it's our way of saying thank you. I'm not trying to sell my husband's autograph. I'm not trying to sell Vernon's autograph. I'm trying to collect money for a food bank that really needs some help.
And it all goes to the food bank. And
Absolutely.
I know that there's usually a lot of Boston fans, so I'm going to tell them all in the hotel. When I see them there that week, I'm going to say, hey, whip out that U.S.
I take
coin.
U.S. money too.
That's right.
I am not picky.
Brandy, we wish you the best of luck. And once again, the dates are July 17, 18, and 19 with Boston in town. The Lady Jays are running a food drive, and we hope you'll contribute. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
Sure, Brandy.
Thanks.
See you.
It's good to see you.
Same here.
Brandy Halliday joins us as we see the bases loaded here for the Phillies. Carlos Ruiz, the batter. Brian Tallett hanging on to a 4-1 lead. Here's the pitch, grounded to Roland. He goes to second with the off-balance throw. They get the one out. And the runner comes in. Phillies scores. It's now 4-2.
This would have been an excellent double play, but it just was not hit hard enough. Good job by Bruntlett to take out Hill at second base. Phillies back on the board. Lots of action happening this inning.
Brings up the leadoff man, Shane Victorino, who leads the Phillies with 87 base hits. Runners on the corners, and he hits this one in the air to left field. Bautista's over. Wells takes it in front of him. Here comes Coast. And now the Phillies have scored twice, so the lead is 4-3. Philadelphia's hanging around now.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you got the base hit by Phillies. The big at bat, I think, in this inning was the walk to Coast. Make a good pitch there. You can get yourself out of the inning.
Base hit left field for Jason Worth.
And now you got to face the middle of the lineup with a couple of runners on. We talked in the beginning in the scouting report that Brian's got to be down with his fastball. You see Chavez wants that ball down, but it's up and away where Jason Worth can reach it. He is on for the third time now.
And here's Utley, 1 for 2, a double and a strikeout. Ruiz and Worth the base runners, first and second. Ball one. Excuse me, strike one.
Good job by Chavez there to dig that ball out of the dirt. Talent struggling right now with his command. You throw a spinner like that and it bounces that far in front of home plate, you have no idea where that thing's going to go. As a catcher, you just want to slide over there and keep that ball in front of him. Chavez showing some nice soft hands picking that one.
Whack to center field and well hit. Well sprinting toward the wall, and it is off the wall. Here's Ruiz to score. Here's Jason Worth. Utley into third, and the Phillies have taken the lead.
He hits left-handers as a left-handed batter because he stays right in there, right on top of the plate. Talent tries to slip one by him, but he stays in it. It hits it hard to right field. This is going to end up being his first triple of the season. Wells in full sprint mode, right to the wall, but just can't get it. He thinks he has a bead on it. He just runs out of real estate. Ball kicks off the wall. That'll allow Worth to score easily from first base with his good speed. And just like that, 4 runs have crossed and the Phillies have taken the lead.
Chase Utley now with a double and a triple. He drives in a pair and gives Philadelphia a 1-run lead. Takes his lead from third as Ryan Howard checks his swing and rolls it foul.
We were talking about the home runs that the Phillies have hit against left-handers this year. They have the most in the major leagues. They also have the second most extra base hits against left-handers. Showing it here, Utley couple. They now have 88 extra base hits.
Overbay picks up the baseball. Tallett's covering, and they get the out at first. That ends the top of the fourth. But the Phillies score 4 times on 4 hits and take a 1-run lead. Bay Rays. He'll be opposed by right-hander Jeff Neiman, who's 6-4. Get your tickets by calling the box office tomorrow. You can get them by logging on to BlueJays.com or visit a Rogers Plus location. Tampa Bay in town for the first time, and Roy Halladay returns from the disabled list. A rocky inning for Brian Talent, giving up 4 runs on 4 hits, and he watches his team bat in the bottom of the inning, now trailing 5-4. I'm Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino. Here's Jose Bautista, who's got a home run in the ball game. He pops this one up. The ball drifts into right field. In comes Worth, and Bautista is gone.
We'll watch Jamie Moyer now with the lead. He was probably one batter away from getting knocked out of this game last inning. The home run last inning, then the double, and then the single by Lind. Buckled down and struck out Rios and Overbay.
Yeah, you got the sense after he walked Lind and had first and second that if Rios or even Overbay came up with a big hit, that might be it, because the Phillies had Chan Ho Park warming up. Their reliever has since taken a seat. And now Moyer's out there with a 1-run lead facing Chavez.
Let's see if he pitches a little bit more aggressively. Now with the lead. Veterans like that who've been around and probably have seen everything in this game of baseball, they can sense it. You know, when their offense comes back and gives them the lead, they have that ability to kind of take it up a notch and pitch a little bit differently. Look at that determination on his face.
Ripped foul by Chavez. And that's into the football press box. Isn't that the organist? I think the organist just caught a foul ball. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marco Scutaro on deck for the Blue Jays. Chavez doubled into left center in the second. And he waves and misses, and is called out on strikes.
You know, we've talked about the Blue Jays, the top of the lineup. Scudero's having a good year, and he's really driven this offense. When they win, look at the average for Marco Scudero. His on-base percentage, the numbers are just great in that first column. Shows you how important he is to this team, because in the losses, you can see the numbers just aren't as good. 225 average, and the on-base percentage just over 300. That is what he has meant to this team this year.
Well, he's 0 for 2 this afternoon, and the Jays now trail by a run. Falls behind in the count, no balls and a strike. Here's the kick from Moyer and the pitch. Grounded softly toward shortstop, and Bruntlett is up and over to first, and Moyer gets a 1-2-3 fourth inning. 5-4 Philadelphia. Will return after this.
Philadelphia, Scott Richmond gets the ball against Matt Garza in Game 2 of the Tampa series on Tuesday. Meanwhile, it's been a long time coming for this. This is Richmond's Rookie of the Month award for American League players. He went 3-0 with a 2.70 ERA, and it just arrived handily in the mail a few short days ago. Richmond proud to display that in his locker.
Good for him. He earned that for the month of April. And it just arrived now. But you can see it's a rather fragile piece. You want it handled with care for delivery, and he'll be able to put that on his mantle in Langley, British Columbia.
Probably didn't care when it came, just as long as it came.
No.
Beautiful. Good job.
Well, it's like that car that Cole Hamels won for winning the World Series MVP. He figured he was going to drive the one away that he was given on the field. After the game concluded, it took him 8 months to get it, and he had to order it over the internet. It did finally arrive, but you just don't grab the keys and drive away.
You don't?
Apparently not. Could have fooled me. Talent with 2 strikes on John Mayberry. He swings and misses. A foul tip, and Mayberry's gone.
He's really confused the young hitter this afternoon. He got him with a fly out with 2 strikes, struck him out his last time, and now 3 pitches. Good job by Chavez to get that ball and keep it before it falls on the dirt. Would have been a foul ball. Home plate umpire Bob Davison signaling that he caught the ball and it was indeed a foul ball. So good job by Chavez to record the out.
Pedro Feliz takes strike 1. Coming into this game, right-handers had been held to a .202 batting average by Brian Talent. #1 in the major leagues, just ahead of Jay Happ, who pitched yesterday so brilliantly.
Boy, he certainly did.
Oh,
very impressed with that left-hander. 5-0 this year.
no Blue Jay made it to third base yesterday. And this has been a struggle for Talent. A 1-2. Rolled over the mound. Hill makes the throw to first. The stretch by Overbay. And they get Phillies.
Part of being a good fielder is you've got to have good range. When the ball was hit by Phillies, and it wasn't hit very hard, but watch the reaction from Hill. He goes all the way over to the other side of second base to get that one and take away a base hit from Phillies. Talent had thoughts of maybe grabbing it with his hands, but he whiffs on it. Jays catch a break. That ball hops right over the bag. You see it hit the back of the mound and flatten out a little bit, rolling right along the dirt, and all of a sudden it hops over the bag to give Hill a chance to make the play.
These are the two best fielding teams in the major leagues right now. Both the Blue Jays and the Phillies have each recorded only 27 errors this year.
Throw good quality strikes. Make them put the ball in play. Let your defense do the work, the rest of the work. I think we could put together a highlight film of this homestand so far by the Blue Jays, their defense. And it would probably last about 10 minutes long. I mean, that's how good the defense has been.
Remember that double play that Aaron Hill started against Ryan Howard on Friday night.
And the way he finished it. Runner bearing down, rolling was, oh geez, he's had about a fistful of great plays in this homestand.
The DH Coast has walked twice today and scored once. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 gone, 5th inning. Here's Talent with the pitch. And the count is full.
They're laying off that changeup now with 2 strikes. And they know it's coming. Brian looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game right here with this pitch. That'd be a statement after last inning.
Here's the payoff. And it's drilled to left field. And falls in front of Bautista, a base hit. Brings up Eric Bruntlett, who is 1 for 2, hitting only a .141. He tried to drop a sacrifice and move Phillies and Coast over last inning and was successful in reaching base after Talent couldn't get off the mound quickly enough.
Well, that was just put down there perfectly by Bruntlett. Jays were out here the other day working on that exact same thing. Talent did everything right. He got off the mound. The ball was bunted to the side that he falls down to, towards the third base side. He got off the mound quickly. Did everything right, made a good throw. It was just too good of a bunt.
Two strikes on Bruntlett. Here's the pitch. Grounded to short. Scudero goes to second. And the Phillies get a base hit, nothing more. Off to the bottom of the 5th with Aaron Hill leading off. He's already hit 2 home runs this afternoon.
our staff has put together some of the highlights. Boy, that play by Roland, Cito was talking about, it was probably one of the best he's ever seen. He was asked before the game the best third baseman he has seen up close and personal, and he named Scott Roland.
Yes, over Brooks Robinson.
Mike Schmidt.
Over Mike Schmidt. He named Roland over Hall of Fame players. There's Aaron Hill having a Hall of Fame afternoon. 2 for 2, both home runs. 19 on the year, a career high every time he knocks one out. And he fouls off the first pitch. You think Moyer's going to treat him a little differently now?
I bet he stays away from him. If he shows him anything inside, it'll be off the plate.
One and one.
Watch the reaction from Jamie Moyer after that first pitch. He says it got, wow, too much of the plate. I didn't want to do that. And he knows he got away with a mistake.
They go inside here, and it's hammered foul. Hill is leading the Blue Jays in all the important categories. 19 home runs, 56 RBIs more than any other, 102 base hits. In fact, only he and Ichiro have hit the century mark in the big leagues to this point in the year. So he's in select company in that respect.
102 hits in just 76 games. Keep it going.
2-2. Moyer with the pitch. Ball 3. Aaron, like Scott Rowland, has made a very subtle change as well. And congrats to the young man there with the blue shirt. Made a fine catch.
Well, you want to see it. Change up inside. Ripped right over Nick Leyva. Picked right out of the air. Nice.
He didn't even stand up. That's a seated catch. And on the 3-2, it's tapped foul. Aaron this year started with a heavier bat. And he's raised his hands a little bit since last year. He feels he can bring a heavier bat down and sort of whip it through the strike zone. Subtle changes from two players, and it's paid off for both men.
If you can handle a heavier bat, the ball's going to go further.
There he goes. He just struck out. Moyer gets him on a changeup at 73 miles an hour, and Hill is 2 for 3.
Slow, slower, slowest. He fouled the ball off to the left, then one off to the right, and now this one, Jamie really pulls the string on him. It almost looked like he triple clutched to try and get the bat head out. Just over 70 miles an hour.
Vernon Wells is now in an 0 for 8 stretch. He saw a 10-game hit streak come to an end yesterday. Moyer with the 0-1 pitch. Hit in the air. Down the line and headed for the seats. And she's out of play about 8 rows deep. Vernon and Jamie Moyer are actually working in conjunction on a charitable endeavor these days. Part of a foundation that Jamie has started to help find a space in camps for special children. As he pitches the ball low, Moyer's foundation has been going on for some time. It's called Camp Aaron, named after a young gal he met while playing in Seattle, a little girl who eventually passed away in a battle with cancer. As Wells hits that one foul. And so in September, He's gotten together with both Vernon and Charlene Wells, and they're going to offer up some space to kids who are dealing with the grieving process, kids who have lost either a father or a mother or a brother or sister. And they're going to send them up to Muskoka for a few days and let them kick back and enjoy some of the adventures up there. Jamie was telling me that his foundation has just 7 employees. His wife Karen does basically all the work, and there are still spaces available for some children. So if you know of someone who's having a tough time and grieving the loss of someone close right now, you can look at his website, www.moyerfoundation.org, moyerfoundation.org, and maybe find a space for a young man or woman up in Muskoka this summer. Fly ball left field, and Wells is retired. He's 0 for 3.
You know, one of the things that I've noticed so far since he gave up that home run to Aaron Hill back in the 3rd inning, it's like he's taken a little bit more off of his pitches than what we saw. A little bit too strong in the first few innings. Throwing hard, if you can believe it or not. Now he's throwing at about 70, 74 miles an hour, and he's getting the Blue Jay batters way out in front.
Which kind of goes back to your point about the trouble the Blue Jays have had with soft tossing lefties. It seems the softer it is, the harder they are to hit.
The harder they swing. And I think you have to wait just a little bit longer. Rowland matches up well with Moyer. Been hitting the ball all over the place. His double to right center field was textbook of how you want to face a pitcher like Jamie Moyer, a left-hander who just keeps that ball away from you. Stay back, keep the weight back on your backside. See the ball before you swing.
For those who were unable to write down that website, MoyerFoundation.org, helping grieving children. This September, a camp up in Muskoka, Ontario will feature a bunch of kids. If there's somebody you know who could use some help, please log on to that website and look for some information. As Scott Rowland takes a pitch from Moyer. And if you're going to get drilled, you want to get drilled by guys like Moyer.
And down low like that.
Better that than Josh Beckett.
Watch the reaction from Scott Rowland. Okay, no problem. Looked like it was the hamstring or the calf area.
Wave and a miss from Adam Lind. Adam is 0 for 1, grounding out and walking. Moyer, it seems, was in his deepest trouble after walking Lind in the 3rd. He'd given up the 2nd home run to Hill, had runners at 1st and 2nd and 1 out, but was able to strike out Rios and Overbay. And so he continues here in the 5th inning, leading 5-4.
Strike away now from being qualified to win this game, which would move him past Bob Gibson.
I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around that one. You brought up the fact that Lind has had surprisingly good numbers yesterday. Both he and Aaron Hill rank 1st and 2nd respectively coming into today's ball game in the American League in total bases. They get on and they get around.
To have any chance of being at the top of those categories, you first have to be a good hitter.
Runner goes. It's grounded to Utley. And Lind is thrown out 4-3. Well, after 5, it's the Phillies 5 and the Blue Jays 4. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers Sportsnet. Between starting pitchers, both are still in the game, and at this point it's Moyer ahead of Talent on the scoreboard at 5-4.
Just keeps rolling along on the right. Jamie Moyer, he gets a well-rested break this half inning.
Talent goes back to work. He sees Carlos Ruiz and then Shane Victorino and Jason Worth in the third and final game of this interleague series. Interleague comes to an end today, and then for the Blue Jays beginning tomorrow, it's back to the American League business with a series against Tampa Bay. The Jays right now are 7-10 in interleague play. 4 of the 7 victories coming against these Phillies.
You know, and the schedule really starts to get tough now, Jamie. Look at this. 86 remaining games versus the AL East, 57. And versus teams 67 games, 67 of their final 86 against teams over 500. We get our first look at Tampa. And we'll get to see the Red Sox and the Yankees a lot also the next couple of months.
Marco Scutaro drops the ball.
Infield single for Ruiz.
Yeah, the next 4 series before the All-Star break features the Yankees, the Orioles, and 2 against Tampa Bay.
So we get Roy Halladay back just in time.
Perfect timing. There's Victorino. Back to the top of the order as Victorino bats for the 4th time. He swings at the first one and pops it up. Roland can see it and makes the play. Commentator clothing is provided in part by Z Zenya. Statistical information provided by Stats Inc. Here comes Jason Worth. Once a first-round pick by the Baltimore Orioles. That was 1997. The Orioles traded him here to Toronto for left-handed pitcher John Bale. And Worth only played in 41 games over 2 years with the Jays before he was traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers for Jason Frazier.
And he's really come into his own, I think, since going to Philadelphia. Earned that right field job. He's a good defender. got a good arm. We talked about his assists. He got 6 assists, which leads his team. He's got some power, and he's hitting in a great spot in their lineup also. When that speed is on base and the power behind him, he's going to get some good pitches to hit, and he has taken advantage of it. Look what he has done against the Jays over the last 2 years. That's coming into today. 8 home runs and 17 RBIs. Lots and lots of production from Jason Worth against his ex-employers.
He's been productive yet again today, drawing 2 walks and singling to left field. He then scored on the triple by Chase Utley. As you see Jesse Carlson up and throwing. He's now joined by Brandon League. This has not been an easy run for Brian Talent. He has battled all day. He has yet to nail down a 1-2-3 inning, and certainly won't here in the 6th.
Phillies hitters a little bit more disciplined, laying off that off-speed pitch, that changeup. You got to force the action by throwing strikes.
Three and 2 now. Ruiz is the base runner at first. Victorino popped out right after him, so there's 1 down. Worth at the plate, 1 for 1 this afternoon. Talent about to throw his 100th pitch. Runner goes from first, ball 4. Worth has drawn 3 walks today. Gets on base for the 4th time, and we bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jimmy, I was talking to Matt Stairs about Jason Worth yesterday and said he just really loves his skill set. He's been working to bring him along, and says, you know what, even with all the numbers he's put up, that he hasn't quite figured it out yet. And when he does, this guy's going to put up superstar numbers.
Hasn't figured it out.
Oh. He's figured out the Blue Jays.
Strike 1 to Utley, who has a double and a triple. He's driven in 2. First and second, Philadelphia, and 1 away in the 6th. The bullpen is busy for the Jays. Talent's pitch count up over 100 now. Runner breaks, both go. Chavez to third, and they got him.
Quick hands and quick feet from Raul Chavez, who's throwing out 40% of the base runners trying to steal against him. He has caught now 8 of 19. Look how quick he gets rid of that ball, and it's got to be perfect to get Ruiz at third. That's almost like a second baseman turning the double play right there. How he shot out out from behind home plate and makes a good throw to roll it. Nice, you got to like that.
That throw was right on the money. And Worth moves up to second on the play. So they try the double steal, and Ruiz is thrown out on the front end. Now Utley takes a second strike.
It had to be perfect, or there's no way they were going to get him.
The 1-2. Drilled to right and foul. Chase Utley, the last 2 seasons, has led the National League in being hit by a pitch. And he's right at the top again this year. 12 times this guy has been hit by a pitch.
After getting hit 27 times last year, he's right on top of the plate, and he really tracks the ball a long time. Got a nice short swing. Left-handers, right-handers, it doesn't matter. He can handle them all, and he can handle them with power.
And now Chavez comes out for a chat with Talent. And as you saw early in the game, Utley is so difficult to beat inside on that double in the first inning.
So quick inside. When guys get right on top of the plate like Chase Utley does, it creates a vision for the pitcher thinking you can get him in there, but he almost wants it in there. Hits from a little bit of an open stance. Back foot right on the back line of the batter's box. You see he's open just a little bit. His hands are on the inner part of the plate. And you think as a pitcher, well, I can get in there. But he's just too quick.
Utley looks so darn comfortable when he's standing at the plate. Some guys grip the bat and they show some serious intensity. He looks so relaxed.
That's a big key of hitting, just being relaxed and letting your hands do all the work. Sometimes you see guys kind of like gripping the bat so hard they're creaming, just grinding some sawdust out of the bat. They've had some trouble since Jason Worth got down to second base at trying to get onto the same page of what they want to do.
3-2, and the pitch misses inside. Ball 4 to Utley. Not a popular call here.
It froze him. He gave up on it, but it just kind of spun up. And I think with Chavez having to reach back over the plate, maybe that one goes around the plate. Maybe it's high. But home plate umpire Bob Davison said it's not a strike. And now Talent's got to work against Ryan Howard.
Well, Talent has been dealing with base runners all day. He's got 2 on now for Howard, who swings and misses. Strike 1. There's Utley and Worth. Phillies on top by 1. Howard is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice, once driving in a run, and he struck out as well. Hit well in the air, left center field, over Wells' head. Oh, but he makes the catch! What a catch! How did he get to that one? Incredible, and we'll review it when we return.
about the defense in this whole homestand, and Burnham's got a lot of gold gloves for plays just like that. Remember where he was playing. He was playing in right center field with big Ryan Howard up, so he's got a long way to go, and then reaches full over his shoulder to make a great catch and save Brian Talent some runs and make this and keep this a one-run game.
And in a tight ball game, Charlie Manuel decides to go to his bullpen, and he brings in Chan Ho Park, who pitched briefly on Friday. In fact, he only faced
the guy he's
a
facing
single
now.
batter, and that was Alex Rios, who flies to right field.
The Jays on Rogers Sportsnet, brought to you by Home Hardware and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners.
Park went down in the 5th inning Friday on a comebacker off the bat of Rios, and the way he went down, I did not expect to see him in this series again.
Did not expect to see him till after the All-Star break, the way he went down. Hard line drive right off of his knee, but after a while he was able to get up and walk off the field under his own power, and here he is. He's done a great job for the Phillies this year, averaging over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings as a reliever. He's been a good bridge to Brad Lidge for Charlie Manuel.
Ripped to right field, but it hangs up for Worth. And so Park in relief of Moyer, who goes 5 innings today against the Blue Jays.
It didn't start off too well for Jamie Moyer. A home run to Aaron Hill in the 1st inning, a home run to Bautista in the 2nd inning, and then another home run to Aaron Hill in the 3rd inning. But from then on, the last few innings, it seemed like he was throwing a little bit softer. Talked about less is more. Well, it was more for him. He was able to get through 5 innings. And if his bullpen can hold it to the score it is right now, he'll be in line for another win.
Along the way, Moyer gave up a home run to Jose Bautista, just his 2nd of the season, coming directly after Overbay had walked. He chops this one off the plate, played by Utley. And a 1-2-3 for Chan Ho Park. 6 in the books, 5-4 Philadelphia. You're watching Blue Jays baseball on Rogers.
The Comfort Zone. Log on to BlueJays.com for your chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to see the Jays in comfort. TD Canada Trust, putting you in the comfort zone.
We begin the 7th, and Brian Talent departs, having pitched 6 innings today against Philadelphia.
Yeah, for the 10th time in his 15th start, he gets 6 innings. The problem that Brian had today were the walks. 6, which is a season high. just could not get the Phillies to swing at that changeup out of the strike zone, so he gives way after 110 pitches. And Cito Gaston goes to his bullpen, and the first guy he brings out is Brandon League to face John Mayberry Jr.
League making his 32nd appearance. He's allowed 22 earned runs over 34 1/3. So the ERA is a robust 5.77. 30 strikeouts along the way, and he's facing John Mayberry. If there's one man that Talent did not have a problem with, it's the man at the plate. 0 for 3, he struck out twice. So here in the 7th, it'll be Mayberry, followed by Phillies, and then Coast. 5-4 for the Phillies.
The pitch that League has been throwing a lot, getting a lot of those strikeouts, is that good splitter. He's been keeping it down, throwing it hard, making it tough on those right-handed batters. Righty's hitting 240 against Leaguer. There it is.
There's a look at some of the new jerseys you can purchase now by visiting jaysshop.ca. Now in stock, the Blue Jays Canada Day jerseys and caps. Sam Cosentino was sporting one yesterday, and they look good. For more information, look at jaysshop.ca. Those are the jerseys the Blue Jays will wear on Canada Day, an afternoon game here Wednesday against Tampa Bay. And we'll have it for you on Rogers Sportsnet. James Shields against Ricky Romero. Swing and a miss from Phillies.
You see that miles per hour, 87 on our gun here up in that right-hand corner. That was a splitter at 87 miles an hour. For a hitter, that looks like a fastball coming in on the outside part of the plate. And then it just drops straight down. Nasty.
Nasty indeed. Say goodbye, Mr. Phillies. Back-to-back strikeouts now for League.
Well, he got everybody pizza in his last strikeout, which was number 7 for Blue Jay pitching. The last batter, that time he gets with the same type of pitch.
And finally, a look at Matt Stairs. It comes late in the 3rd game, but with so many left-handers starting in the series, Chris Coast has been getting the DH duties. Stairs pinch hits now. This is his return to Toronto after he was dealt in August last year for a player to be named later. And that player pitcher Fabio Castro is having a good year in the minor leagues.
He's been sitting over there for 3 days, and you know he's looking for one pitch.
Yes, indeed.
Turn on that fastball. Leaguer's not giving it to him.
He loops this one to left field and picks up a pinch hit single. And now Bautista kicks it around. Here's Stairs heading for second. And he is out. Tried to pick up the extra base and gets tagged by Aaron Hill.
He is their best pinch hitter. That's pinch hit number 9 Little casual play by Bautista, but he recovers and he's able to get stairs at second base. Blue Jays still.
Final game of the series. The Blue Jays have done it with the long ball. The Phillies have done it with singles, doubles, and walks. A 5-4 Philadelphia lead. And Chan-Ho Park continues in relief of Jamie Moyer, his second inning of work. And the number 9 hitter is up, Raul Chavez. This is Jamie Campbell with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino today, coast to coast on Sportsnet. We thank you for joining us. And would like to send out congratulations to Joe and Mabel Burke, who are watching in Point Clark, Ontario today, just south of Kincardine. They just celebrated their 61st anniversary and are spending their day with us. Chavez 1 for 2. He's doubled and struck out. Let's bring in Sam Cosentino.
Well, Jamie, just a quick update on Rod Barajas, who addressed the media after batting practice today. He says he's feeling fine. Tomorrow he's going to try and push him just a little bit to see if he can get back in the lineup. How he responds to that extra pressure, if you will, on the right hamstring will determine, go a long way in determining whether or not he'll be placed on the DL.
There's a roller to second, and Chavez is thrown out. He did not look out of place in batting practice, swinging the bat. That's for certain.
Did a little work while everybody was stretching out in the outfield. Doesn't look like he's in game mode. We'll see if that affects the flow of this game, the last 3 innings. If it stays a 1-run game and Chavez gets on later on, they might not be able to pinch run for him. They might have to stay in the game.
One gone, and Marco Scutaro is 0 for 3. As we saw earlier in a statistical graphic, the Jays don't win a whole lot when he does not get on base. And so far he's been held at bay. There's Chan-Ho Park running it inside.
This relieving looks like it agrees with Chan-Ho Park. Still got that great slider. Turns the ball over. He made 7 starts with the Phillies before they moved into the bullpen in about the middle of May. And it certainly agrees with him. Again, averaging about 10 strikeouts per 9 innings coming out of the bullpen.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. He gets Scutaro. And with 2 away, the possibility exists that if a catcher not named Rod Barajas is needed, it could be the man wearing the catcher's gear in the bullpen. That's John McDonald.
Yeah, just an option that Cito has. Again, Chavez, if they have to pinch run for him or if he gets hurt, that's the guy. Johnny Mack looks like he'd be the guy who'd have to come into the game. So something that Cito is thinking about right now as we head to the later parts of the game.
Aaron Hill with 2 home runs, both solo shots, both coming off Jamie Moyer. Hill sets for the 2-1 and shoots it off his ankle.
We saw Vernon Wells get one of those the other day, right off the shin. Pitchers turn over that fastball, and Park can do that. He can make it go to left, and he can make it go right, and that's what he does here. Sinks it, and Hill goes right off looks like right off the top of his foot. Sinking fastball. Well, that got more of the shin than the foot.
And now Ruiz asks if he gave him enough time to recuperate.
Says, "You okay?" Yeah, I don't know.
He rolls over to third, but it's foul. Wasn't Jason Worth yesterday sitting on a triple for the cycle, and he fouled one off his leg, and you were saying, boy, that's really going to reduce his chances of getting 3 bases.
He got the jog, though.
Yes, he did.
He homered.
Yeah, he did one better. The slow trot.
Yeah. No pain anymore after you hit one out.
And on 2-2, backhanded by Utley. He throws out Hill. 1-2-3. Boy, Chandler Park's been effective in relief. Still 5-4 Philadelphia. $36,379 to paid attendance today to see the Phillies and Blue Jays. Cito Gaston brings in his second reliever. Here's Jeremy Accardo.
4th game since being recalled. Opponents still haven't scored against Jeremy. Hitting just 143 against him. He's thrown in a little bit of a save there. Fastball, slider, and a good splitter that he'll use to get strikeouts. First batter he will face will be the number 8 batter, Eric Bruntlett.
Bruntlett is 1 for 3. And Accardo deals wide of the plate. The batter has been in the World Series twice in the last 4 years. He won with the Phillies last year and then was part of that Houston Astros team in 2005 that lost to the Chicago White Sox. Taking over as the starting shortstop, at least for today, for the 4th straight time in place of Jimmy Rollins. That will likely change Tuesday when the Phillies play in Atlanta. The ball is run inside, picked up by Rowland, and he throws out Bruntlett. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Here's Carlos Ruiz. Last time up, Ruiz was thrown out at 3rd on the front end of a double steal attempt. Chavez with that lightning quick arm behind home plate.
Were you surprised that they sent a catcher the front end of a double steal?
A little bit.
I think maybe somebody might have missed a sign. You would think that they would hit and run before they would.
Fairly well for a catcher.
Yeah, and it had to be a perfect throw to get him, which it was. But you don't usually see catchers the front end of a double steal.
They were probably banking on the element of surprise. But that guy behind home plate right now, he's a tough guy to run on at any time.
Yeah, he's so quick. He's got great hands and great feet. Chavez again throwing out 40% of the base runners trying to steal against him this year, which is excellent.
3-2.
Now I guess if you're Russell Martin or Jason Kendall, you can be the catcher, the front end of the double steal, right? There are a couple guys who can run.
Well, Martin's known to steal some bases, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
As that one is popped foul. Accardo made his way to the Blue Jays after Scott Downs went down in that series in Philadelphia. So he's back in the big league level, and then when Downs returns, someone will have to vacate the bullpen.
Scott threw off the mound today. This morning he was down there and said everything is good, but the Jays didn't have any timetable when he was going to be back. I think he's eligible on July the 3rd.
I believe you're correct.
Cito was not committed and saying if he was going to be ready or not to come off the disabled list.
3-2. Ball 4. Accardo loses Ruiz. Cito had to use 5 relievers in a 10-0 loss yesterday. He's leaning on Accardo here in the 8th inning to get out the speedster Shane Victorino, who's been acquired now twice in the Rule 5 draft. Once he went from the Dodgers to San Diego, and then from the Padres to Philadelphia. That pitch fouled down the line and out of play. Jeremy Accardo came over to Toronto in a trade with the San Francisco Giants. The Blue Jays sent Shea Hillenbrand and relief pitcher Vinny Chalk to San Francisco. Here's Jeremy with the 0-2 pitch, run on the ground and out of play.
You see Victorino, he almost has a running start towards first base when he swings, so it's going to be tough to double him up. He's only grounded into 2 double plays this year, one of them from the left side and one from the right side. It almost has to be one of those 2 hoppers to the second baseman. That's how fast he is.
Rolled toward Accardo. He underhands to Overbay covering, and Victorino is gone for the second out. That's the advantage of a left-handed hitter who can run, is that they've got about a 3-foot advantage to first base on a right-handed batter.
And they seem to be leaning towards first base, those fast guys, you know, like Ichiro, how he is kind of like leaning towards first base and he just kind of flicks the bat at the ball. And it's almost like he's got a running start. A lot of infield singles from guys like that.
Well, here's Jason Worth, who has had a remarkable series. In fact, he has now reached base in 9 consecutive plate appearances. Yesterday's line for Worth went home run, single, double, home run, and walk. Today, walk, walk, single, walk. Man at second is Ruiz. Worth has been a one-man wrecking crew. Accardo with the 2-0 pitch, and it catches the strike zone. Now Chavez comes out. And we've seen a lot of these mound conversations with runners at second base today.
Yeah, I think they have a thought that maybe the Phillies are giving location or maybe stealing some signs when they get down there. So they go out there, you change it up just a little bit. Sees a lot of pitches at the plate. Really works the count. Hits well with runners in scoring position. 343 this year.
He walks again. My goodness, 4 walks today. And make it 10 straight plate appearances for Worth reaching base. So back comes Utley, and he's been very good. 2 for 3, a double, a triple, 2 runs driven in. He's walked once. Jeremy Accardo on the hill trying to keep the lead for Philadelphia at 1 and give his team a chance in the bottom of the 8th. Strike 1. Utley doubled to right field in the first inning. Struck out in the 3rd, tripled in 2 in the 4th, and then walked in the 6th.
He hasn't faced Accardo that much in his career, just a couple of times, but he does have a double against him. See him taking the pitch there just to get a gauge of how hard he's throwing.
The 2-strike pitch. Ball 1. One and 2. Here comes Accardo. 2-2.
Tried to backdoor him with a cut slider. Tried to backdoor him, but Utley's got a great eye. Watch how this pitch goes around the plate. It's really not even close from high home. Good hitters have good eyes, don't they? Good idea of where that strike zone is. And Utley is the same way. He's got a great idea. Can foul off tough pitches. Makes you come to him.
There's Ruiz up at second. Jason Worth at first after the walk, his 4th of the game. Chase Utley at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes Accardo again. Swung on and missed. He got him. Down goes Utley. And the Phillies leave 2. In the Jays half of the inning, Wells, Rowland, and Lynn coming up, trailing by 1. This is the play of the game, the at-home play of the game, presented by Burger King, home of the Whopper.
Well, we've seen it a lot over the years from Vernon Wells. He's going to take away a couple of RBIs and extra bases from Ryan Howard, reaching back over his shoulder to take away that hit. Some serious closing speed out in center field from Vernon Wells.
Visit BlueJays.com to register for a chance to win prizes with the Burger King Superfan Contest. Here's Ryan Madsen, the closer for a time, but Brad Lidge is back now. He sets up and faces Vernon Wells.
Yeah, with the return of Brad Lidge, he goes back to his role, and it's a good role. 38th time he has come into a game, an ERA under 3, comes in throwing strikes. You see he's got that long arm action with his delivery right over the top, and he can throw that fastball anywhere from 89 to 96 miles an hour. He'll try and cut it. He'll try and sink it. And he will just attack you.
He gets Wells to ground out. And that brings us to another Rogers Fast Fact, brought to you by Canada's fastest mobile network, 3 times faster than any other. A .368 interleague average coming into today's ball game for Scott Rowland. He has successfully extended his hit streak today, now to 16 games. Acquired in an off-season trade prior to last year for Troy Gloss from St. Louis. Gloss has missed the entire season with the Cardinals, and as a result, St. Louis went out yesterday and picked themselves up a third baseman.
And Mark DeRosa goes from the Indians over to St. Louis. That trade's looking pretty good right now.
Base hit up the middle for Rowland.
Nice short swing from Scott Rowland, who's on some kind of roll right now, offensively and defensively. Madsen challenges him. You try and pull that ball. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. He stays right with it and hits it right back through the middle. And the tying run is on.
Madsen had all kinds of trouble with the Blue Jays in the 3-game series over a week ago in Philadelphia. As he faces Adam Lind, and there's a grounder to the shortstop, and the ball is fumbled by Brundtland, and Lind is safe. Oh, a huge break for the Blue Jays.
That was tailor-made right there. Just the 3rd error of the season by Brundtland, and we've been talking about how well the Phillies catch the ball, the best in the National League. But it looked like the ball just slipped out of his hand as he was trying to flip it to Chase Utley to start the double play. He catches it. He goes to flip it. It looks like it hit his glove. You're right, a huge break for the Jays. Let's see if they can capitalize on it now.
Well, Jimmy Rollins normally plays that position and oftentimes makes those plays. So here's an opportunity for the Blue Jays against Madsen with Alex Rios at the plate. 0 for 3 today. And Madsen opens with a strike. It was Madsen who blew the save in Game 1 in Philadelphia. A Game 1 in 10 by the Blue Jays. And then he took the loss, giving up that monster home run to Rod Barajas in the 9th inning in the final game in Philadelphia. He gets a swing from Rios on the fastball. 0-2.
He came into that series against Toronto last week with a scoreless streak of 14 2/3 innings. Was on a roll. But the Blue Jays touched him up a couple of times.
Two strikes on Rios. Here's the pitch, and he gets a piece, fouling it off.
When you have a reliever coming in just pumping strikes pitch after pitch after pitch and have the ability to throw different pitches for strikes. He also has a curveball and a changeup that he'll throw at any time. Hard to just kind of sit on one pitch. They have had success against Rios in the series by throwing him breaking balls down and away, making him reach for the ball. That's where Alex really has to stay back right here and think about right center field. Still quick enough that he can turn on a fastball inside. You just have to be a little shorter and a little bit quicker, but let's look for that ball away.
Left-hander J.C. Romero is up. Two men on in the 1-2 pitch. Rolled to third. Taken by Phillies. One play to first. And Rios grounds out. So if the Blue Jays are to bring in the tying run here, it will come with 2 outs as Lyle Overbay steps in 0 for 2.
And decisions right here for the Phillies. First base is open. You've got a right-hander on deck. Do you walk Overbay, set up the force out at any base? Charlie Manuel can also play his hand and bring in the left-hander to face Overbay. He's going to run out to the mound right now and talk over his options with his pitcher. The whole infield's going to come in. They want to discuss what they want to do here. They're going to put Overbay on. Lyle's been so good in these situations right here, picking up runners, hitting with runners in scoring position. You got that base open, just go ahead and just put them on. It sets up the force out at any base now. A tough ball in the hole anywhere, they can get the force out. You don't even let Overbay try and beat you. Now there's some changes here that Cito can do.
He's got Russ Adams on the bench, and Bautista's just made his way back into the dugout, and now Adams comes out with a bat.
And he's going to force Charlie. Do you want Romero versus Millar, or do you want Matson versus Adams? That's what this is coming down to. Because if Charlie comes out and brings the left-hander to face Adams, we'll see Kevin Millar. It looks like Charlie wants Matson versus Adams.
So Adams is the pinch hitter in a bases loaded situation, and he comes in against Ryan Madsen, a pitcher he has never faced in a regular season game. So here we go. Strike one. Pinch hitting this year for the Blue Jays. The numbers are not that good, 2 for 14. And Adams, up from AAA recently, has only had 13 at bats. Madsen gets ahead in the count. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed.
There's that good changeup right there for Madsen.
0-2 down the middle and fouled away by Russ. He has a lone grand slam in his career. It came in the 8th inning against Jonathan Papelbon in September of 07. So there's no question Adams can catch up to the Heat. The 0-2 lifted to left, and this is trouble for Phillies, but he gets back there in time and makes the catch. And the Blue Jays leave the bases loaded in the 8th inning.
Best pitch is the first pitch. Matson starts him off with a fastball right down the middle. Now he's going to start going a little bit further away out of the strike zone. Change up now with 2 strikes. It's down, it's off the plate, and a pop up to the third baseman ends the inning. So a good chance for the Jays in that inning to maybe do something after the error. And now it's up to Frazier to hold it right here to a 1-run game, see if they can win it in the bottom of the inning.
Frazier makes his 30th appearance of the year. 5-1 is the 1-loss record. He's kept the ERA quite low. And in the 9th inning, we'll face Ryan Howard, John Mayberry, and Pedro Feliz. It's been a tight one here at Rogers Center. 5-4 in favor of the Phillies.
Been a good one. A lot of strategy. That last inning was a lot of fun to kind of think along with the managers. Ryan Howard 0 for 4. They've thrown the collar on him. He's working on a streak right now. 16 straight games reaching base via a hit or a walk. That is in jeopardy.
Frazier blows a fastball by him. 0-1. Well, if he could tap a baseball near third base, he'd pick up an infield single.
Oh, maybe a double.
Maybe a double.
They're so far pulled around against Howard. 3 infielders on the right side. Even Scott Rowland, the third baseman, is playing shortstop. What would be the shortstop position, but in a pull side.
One ball and 1 strike. And now here comes Frazier with a changeup drilled to left field. Base hit.
Well, he keeps his streak going by some good hitting. Look at the whole left side is all Ryan Howard's. All he has to do is stick the bat out over there and get it to left field for his first hit. Phillies 10th of the afternoon.
It has been a struggle today for John Mayberry. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Little John awaits the pitch. And Frazier deals. Strike one. Line right to Roland, back to first, and they double up Howard. There's a quick way of getting two out.
Well, that shouldn't happen if you're the runner at first base. A line drive to the left side of the infield, you shouldn't be off that far where you get doubled off. Stung hard by Mayberry, caught by Roland, and right away he knows that Howard has taken a couple of steps and he's going to be thrown out easily. Cito again was talking before the game about Roland and how he anticipates a lot of plays. And the reason he makes such great plays is his anticipation. He thinks about what could happen before the ball's hit to him, and then he just reacts.
And Frazier starts Phillies with a strike. Coming up for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the ninth inning, the 9, 1, and 2 hitters. And Brad Lidge is stretching in the pen. One ball and one strike. Here comes Frazier. Off the plate, 2-1. Here's the payoff to Phillies. Ball 4. Matt Stairs comes back up again.
9th walk of the afternoon by the Blue Jays. That's one thing that has not been a problem this year. For the most part, they've thrown strikes.
And only one of the 9 has come in to score. Talent walked 6, Accardo 2. Now Frazier has issued a free pass. And here's a man who loves a fastball over the heart of the plate.
So they keep it away.
Yes.
And smartly.
Paint the corner.
They know that he likes that ball inner half.
Jason has faced Stairs before with other clubs. Matt is 2 for 5 against him, and he gets under that one, popping it up into center field. Here is Wells, and there go the Phillies in the 9th. So the Jays head for the bottom half, down by a run. Brad Lidge enters from the right field. At 6 Eastern, 4 Mountain Time. The Confederations Cup final has Brazil taking on the United States. Sabanka Osmak and Jim Lang will be standing by coming up a little later. As we hit 4 o'clock Eastern Time, Jamie Campbell is with Pat Tabler and Sam Cosentino today. The Phillies, leading by 1, bring in their closer, Brad Lidge.
We saw him a couple of days ago, and he was only able to throw a third of an inning against the Blue Jays. A couple of hits, a couple of earned runs. His problem was throwing strikes. Not very good numbers this year for Brad Lidge. One of the reasons might be he's had some injuries. He was placed on the disabled list at the beginning of this month with a sprained right knee. Just came off the DL a few days ago. That outing a couple of days ago here was his first since coming off the DL. 6 blown saves already this year to go along with 13 saves.
After not blowing a single save in either the regular season or the playoffs last year. What a change for Lidge. So the first man up is Chavez. And Lidge kicks and fires. He drops down a bunt, and it's a good one. Lidge fires to first, and Chavez is safe. Oh, how about that?
His last time up, when he led off the 7th inning, he faked like he was going to bunt. I thought he was just trying to draw the third baseman in, but this time it's perfect. Phillies is playing way back, not expecting Chavez, the catcher, to drop a bunt down. Look at how far back the third baseman is. So he has no chance. Lidge gets over there, but pulls Howard off the bag. It's an infield single.
And so John McDonald will pinch run. The possible tying run is on base. That brings up Marco Scutaro, who is 0 for 4. Ball 1.
Lidge has faced Marco 3 times in his career, and he has struck him out twice. So he is due right here.
He shows bunt, lets it pass, 2-0. And that move has brought Phillies a little closer in from third.
Still on the line there at third base. No doubles. He doesn't want anything to get by him, where the tying run can score from first base.
Lidge behind in the count. Scutaro, the look of intensity, takes a strike.
That's his game right there. 2-0, no problem. I'm going to make Lidge throw strikes.
Big time cut there.
Trying to end it with one swing. Lidge has a very good fastball, but his big pitch is the strikeout pitch, is the slider. Sometimes he falls in love with it too much and throws it too much, but it's a good one.
Two and two. And now Scutaro backs away, calling time. Here's the pitch. Loop to right field, and it bounces in foul ground. Well, the drama begins with Chavez dropping down a perfect bunt and reaching first. So the Jays have their lead man on. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. He'll watch the rest of the way as McDonald is the pinch runner. Creeping out there at first. Here comes Lidge with the 2-2. He runs it inside. A full count on Scudero.
Marco doesn't strike out a lot. In fact, he's got more walks than strikeouts as that ball's off the plate. Probably start the runner here to stay out of the double play. Maybe it'll open up a hole on the infield for Scudero.
We'll watch to see if McDonald breaks from first. He leaps out there, ball 4, and Scudero draws a walk. That pitch wasn't even close. And look who's coming to the plate. This is what Aaron Hill has done today. First inning, Jamie Moyer serves up a breaking ball, and it's hammered just inside the pole in left. 2 innings later, a little more oomph on that one. 2 solo shots, his 18th and 19th of the year. More than any other second baseman in a single season in Jays history. And it's only the 28th of June. So Hill now wanders over to Nick Leyva for some instruction. He's got runners at first and second and nobody out.
I don't want to take the bat out of Aaron Hill's hand. He does not have a sacrifice hit all season long. He's hot. He's hitting up in the order for a reason. Let him swing away. With one swing, he could win the game.
First pitch is a called strike. Those supporting the Jays among the 36,000 thought that was down.
So did Aaron Hill.
Here comes the second pitch. And he pops him up. Utley races over. And on the infield fly, Hill is gone. So there's one away. Here's Vernon now. Oh for his last 10, and he takes a strike. There's that deadly slider you talked about.
That's a good one. You don't expect it the first pitch. Vernon's 10-game hitting streak was stopped yesterday. He was pulled late in the game. Russ Adams hit for him. How about starting one right here?
John McDonald at second, the possible tying run. Scudero at first, the winning run. And Wells takes a strike right at the knees. 0-2. And now he's really in a hole. Trying to lock in on Brad Lidge, who has blown 6 save opportunities this year. The 0-2 is well off the plate. Vernon has grounded out 3 times today and flied out once. The Blue Jays this year have 16 come from behind victories.
Yeah, you can never count them out. They have made it very interesting for the opposition all season long, really earning them a chance to win ball games. Vernon has had trouble here at the Dome this season. 3 home runs and 16 RBIs here. The big number there, just 132 with runners in scoring position. A chance to end all of that right here.
Oh. He turns, and they have John McDonald caught in a rundown, and Lidge runs over. And now Utley chases him back, and he collides with Phillies. A major mistake there, and boy, Brad Lidge turned at just the right time.
You know, I think Utley or Bruntlett, the veterans in the middle of the infield, picked something up from John McDonald. Before that, they said something to the pitcher that, hey, why don't you try your inside move here? And it worked to perfection. All that Johnny Mack can do is try and run into the fielder and make him try and drop the ball. And now he'll take an extra base hit to tie it.
One and two, and it's fouled away by Wells. Suddenly the look of this bottom of the inning has changed dramatically. It began with the bunt single by Chavez. Lidge then walked Scudero, but Aaron Hill swinging away, fouled out, and now McDonald is erased as the pinch runner. Here are the Phillies, 1 strike away from winning this ball game. And Wells taps it to short. Bruntlett is in. The throw to first is there, and the ball game comes to an end. They threatened, and that threat died here in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Blue Jays go down to defeat 5-4 at the hands of the Phillies.
Good relief pitching by the Phillies. First part